On the subject of environments always changing, the MMO that is just never going to come out, it's just never going to happen. Ashes of Creation has been releasing constant updates, and they are getting closer to release. This is our boy Lazy Peon commenting on a game that he actually likes this time. Oh, the Riot MMO? Oh, we would be hands in. All hands on deck for the Riot MMO.
Solid 4 months.
I'm not holding my breath. Well, to be honest with you, they actually show some very important stuff here that I want to go over. Because I've been watching Ashes of Creation and like the different... actually, I'm going to put you guys up in the corner. He doesn't do much up in the corner up here.
Since my last Ashes of Creation video, which means it's once again time for me to update the casual.
That looks like shit. Is that the game? That's not the game, is it? That's like the pre-alpha.
Followers of this MMO that don't have the time to tune into every hour-long live stream about the progress of the game. And let me tell you, the past 4 live streams have been absolute bangers.
This is the...
with one of them in particular being my favourite progress update shown by Intrepid so far. But first, today's sponsor, Omni Heroes.
Okay,
Embark
Omni
on a
Heroes.
heroic fantasy adventure in a world shrouded in darkness with Omni Heroes, a casual take on classic strategy RPGs. Eve, the world's creator, has given you the mission to locate the 7 sacred Valkyries that will fight alongside one another in either a PvE
right
or
on.
PvP format.
I like this game. I can't put my finger on it. But I could put my entire hand on there.
Against the evils that threaten the world. To realise your full potential, you must forge bonds with the Valkyries and enhance your character how you see fit with the variety of talent paths available. Enjoy the traditional 5v5 turn-based combat, and with the different synergies and characters at your
you certainly have my undivided attention.
Disposal, mix and match to build over 100 different team lineups. Or, if you have a busy day ahead, take advantage of Omni Heroes' relaxed idleness. Keep your game open whilst going about your day in the real world, whilst earning rewards in the...
God, I kind of like the shopkeeper too.
Omni world. You'll become completely engrossed in this world thanks to the hand-drawn aesthetic and distinct background scenes. You might even start playing.
You gamble a lot in BDO? I do, but you don't have to.
The in-game labyrinth or blackjack. So download now alongside 1 million other players and receive unique rewards for your early entry. To top it all off, don't forget to get yourself the 777 free summons, securing yourself a minimum of 5 legendary heroes.
Oh wow, that one's
Links
animated. You
in the
see that? The
description
boobs were
below,
moving
or
in
use
that
my
one.
QR code on screen. Download now. So the last time I updated you on Ashes of Creation, we covered the Alpha 2 tank showcase, the UI update, as well as the story arc system show.
I don't know, the world looks like in some ways the world looks better than BDO, and then in other ways it looks like a lot worse.
Off in January, February, and March of this year.
I can't
April's
decide.
live stream was one that I was personally very excited for, as it was our first glimpse at the main.
Yeah, see, like right here, this looks fucking amazing. Right? Like, look at the shadows, and like it really does feel like you can feel like the sun's glare coming in and stuff. And then the idea that there's a mount other than a fucking horse that I can get on is an intriguing idea.
Mage archetype since the combat revamp.
Look how good that looks. That looks amazing.
I basically play some form of mage in every...
Oh, look, this is familiar.
Every MMO, and I can't really see that changing in Ashes.
Okay, see, this looks like garbage. If this is what we're really getting, this is somehow worse than BDO.
Especially after what was shown off in this live stream. Starting out, Steven showcased some abilities.
Mom, we would like this at home.
Blink. Ball lightning.
No, we already have this at home. Well, that looks kind of cool. Okay.
Blizzard.
Again, and this is Ashes of Creation at home. Why does it look like garbage? Like, that's Blizzard? My Blizzard in BDO looks better than that. Look at the textures. Look at the textures in like the grass and stuff. Like this just does not look good, man. I don't know. Like, again, I play BDO, so like I have high standards for this, but this is supposed to be the game that's going to kill Black Desert. This is supposed to be the game that kills our game.
Cone of Cold.
That looks kind of cool, but again, it just looks, I don't know. Meh. I like the foggy effect. Looks really cool, though. Yeah, lowest opti in BDO. That's exactly what I'm looking at.
Lightning Strike.
You're shitting me. That's, oh, God, riveting.
Arcane Volley. Elemental
MMA.
Empowerment, which is an ability that
Lightning.
works together with your weapon basic attack and previous elemental ability cast.
To its credit, it does look like it's really smooth.
Frostbolt. Slumber, which is an AoE CC. Chain Lightning. The thing that impressed me the most about Chain Lightning is that it can actually arc around corners if your character is pointing in a certain direction, which I haven't seen done before in an MMO.
BDO can do that if you put enough people on the screen. It's basically the same thing.
And the final ability demonstrated was Mana Shield. Overall, the mage showcase in April was pretty cool. The combat didn't blow me away or anything, but it...
Okay, yeah, he's really overselling this because he's literally been hyping this up for years, and then he looked at it and he was like, all right, it didn't blow me away. No, it didn't. That's right. That's a good way of putting it.
It looks passable for the game's current state of development. One thing I liked in particular is that most of the spells don't completely root you in place, and you can still slowly move whilst...
Are you shitting me? Like, that's where we're at? Bro, this bar is so low. James Cameron making a movie about the ocean could not have set a lower bar for this guy. I like to be able to move while I'm casting my skills. God, what other game could I think of that can do that? And did that in 2014.
Casting abilities, which will help make the combat feel a lot better with more player agency than just being rooted.
Okay, so yeah, it's the teleport. Okay, alright, fine.
The May update livestream
Zelda,
is
any game.
Definitely another one I'd consider to be a banger, as we finally got to see the Cyclops world boss fight.
Alright, so this is a world boss. Remember, our world bosses are basically just giant loot pinatas. So, honestly, again, the bar is impossibly low here.
Against a full raid of 16 players. The preview started out with Steven on a mage in the Riverlands during the winter season.
Okay, the fact that it has seasons is juiced. I love the fact that the ecosystem changes with the season.
Before encountering the Cyclops, we got to see a cool example.
That's the coolest part. That's the most intriguing part about the whole game to me, is that the world is always changing like that.
Of the mob aggro system against some giant spiders.
Okay.
Unlike most MMOs where mobs straight up aggro you, in Ashes, some of them will threaten to aggro you.
Okay, well, is it hanging from like some sort of invisible thread that we can't see from behind the theater ops crew? He's like dangling it
by straight up aggro you. In Ashes, some of them will threaten to aggro you by changing to a defensive posture if you get too close before attacking. This is another...
It's just a bug. Alright, that one was pretty good.
Nice bit of attention to detail and...
I actually think it is a nice attention to detail, but it's worked in really poorly. It looks like shit. Like, why does the mob feel like it's like dancing on some sort of saucer plate? You know, like it's a top on a table.
Version that I haven't seen done before in other MMOs. Eventually, we encountered the Cyclops, which instantly impressed me with how he paths through the world.
Alright, that's pretty cool. He's knocking over trees and stuff.
Not only do you hear the stomps of his footprints from far away, but you can also see and hear trees fall down as he walks past them.
Alright, yeah. It's almost like we have this in BDO, but they refuse to make it actually relevant in the game. You guys ever seen the giant freaking, like, Cyclops thing walking around and wonder, like, man, I wish... Or, like, the tree ants or whatever. And, like, they're just there. BDO's looking at this like this is the easiest content copy we've ever had. They can literally just throw it out.
We followed the Cyclops until we reached his combat arena, at which point the rest of the raid decides to show up. He was then engaged in combat, and we were able to get a look at his mechanics. Now, world bosses in MMOs typically don't have many or any mechanics other than just tank and spank. But the Cyclops did actually impress me, not only with his mechanics, but also animations. There's a crush ability that tanks need to block or take massive damage. There's raid-wide...
Dog's getting his ass beat. But so you're telling me it's just a loot
AoE
pinata.
roots, cone attacks, and a charge. At about 60% HP, he drops his tree totem, and players need to DPS it down before it spawns healing caps, which restore his health.
Okay, so yeah, there are mechanics. All right, it's better than our world bosses. All right, that's a W. That's a W.
And once the totem is destroyed, Tumok gains a new mechanic where he slams the ground multiple times, dealing massive raid-wide AoE damage
All right,
each
it does
time.
have one W.
Overall, a really cool fight and an absolute sight to behold, seeing this massive Cyclops charge around an area, dealing environmental damage. And
Yeah, no, the environmental damage is what gives this the W, really. He's knocking over trees, he's knocking
slamming
over
groups of
boulders and
players.
stuff.
Mechanically, the encounter
getting
doesn't
his
appear
ass
to be
beat.
too difficult, but it is just a low-level world boss. And for me, the most
I
fun
won't be playing melee in this game. That's exactly what I was just looking at, honestly. I was like, man. Those guys look like they're having way less fun than the people just standing back throwing shit.
aspect of world boss fights is the sheer spectacle of having large groups
I bet when you get high enough gear score in this game, it starts to be like Garmoth, a chore that takes too long. Why would you destroy the magic I'm trying to create here? The rest of us are trying to enjoy this beautiful game, and you just took it away from us. It's gonna be awful.
of players come together to enjoy an epic
Oh, look at that, he
encounter
died.
in the open world.
All right, I bet
So
you get
in that
some loot
regard,
now.
I think what was shown here was a success. The Ashes June update was by
Alright.
far my
All right, combat. All right, so far what we're seeing, boys, is the combat is just not it here.
favourite live stream so far, as it showed off a side of the game that I'm personally the most excited about. The real space player housing and free
Yeah, this looks juiced. So again, the seasons are really cool. Okay, seasons are better than what BDO currently has, which is no seasons. The world boss does look better than BDO's world boss, but Lane does bring up a good point. If you get enough gear, it's probably just like what mechanics? You know what I mean? You just run it straight over. And then the housing system looks really cool. So let's see.
freehold system.
The combat system's like, wow, exactly. And that's why it's not going to be entertaining for BDO players.
For the longest time, what's excited me the most about Ashes is the idea of having my own real space area in the world where I can grow crops, craft,
Yeah, except for the problem that if the other 10,000 people also made their own space in the world, that there wouldn't be other space in the world.
place furniture, raise livestock, and so on. This was the main thing I enjoyed about Arcade, and I think real space housing really allows you to feel like you live in the world of an MMORPG. This
It
showcase
does.
started out with the team showing
It is really cool in theory. The problem is, like, how do you implement that? Like, the world would be so big that you would never be able to find anyone else if you gave everyone else a plot of land.
off some gemstone resources in the
Like,
Riverland.
there's a delicate balance in MMOs where you have to create the world needs to be vast and big so people want to explore, but it's got to be small enough that you can actually interact with other players. If you make it too big, and in this case, you'd have to make it colossal to allow 10,000 or 1,000 other people, even 1,000, and there's going to be tens of thousands of people that play this game, maybe hundreds.
Stephen wearing a really cool mage gear
If you let
set,
them all
and overall the
put their-
autumn scenery looking absolutely
I want a house
stunning.
there, you know what I mean?
The team mount up on these giant bunny mounts and
Looks like New World. Oh, see? Okay, this is another W. They can ride things other than a goddamn horse. Holy crap. What a concept.
head towards the freehold. I
Oh,
thought
that's
the
kind of nice. Look at it's going up and down.
mounts running animation here looked expertly
Yeah, it is expertly done. That does look like a hare, but it's just slowed down.
done. We arrive at the freehold and straight away you can
Holy shit, is that the actual speed of the thing? Because I can just run faster than that.
see this massive plot of land, way bigger
We have elephants, camels, and alpacas. Shut up.
than was planned for in this game's early stages of development. Initially, freeholds
Shies have these things. Like,
were
they
supposed to
also
be
have donkeys.
half an acre in size, but since the Unreal Engine 5 update and the team increasing the size of the world by roughly 3x, freeholds are also increasing in size by 3x to 1.5 acres in
Oh,
size.
shit. Okay, so
Visually,
wait,
I think the current size of this land looks way more immersive and believable compared to everything being rammed
this dude just built this here. He was like, behold the field in which I will plant my crops, and he just laid everything
Together
down.
in close
That's really cool. That's really cool.
proximity in a half-acre freehold. The team parked their mounts and showcased some parts of the freehold. In Ashes, mounts don't disappear, they actually stay where you leave them, similar to games like
I'm actually sick of the ridiculous menagerie of stupid-looking mounts in other games. I agree. Donkeys are stupid.
BDO, which I think is another nice immersive touch. In the freehold we were shown...
Wait, what did he say about BDO?
In Ashes, mounts don't disappear, they actually stay where you leave them, similar to games like BDO.
Is there a giant parking symbol above it? Because that's what I need.
Which I think is another nice immersive touch. In the freehold we were shown wheat and corn being harvested, eggs could be collected from chickens.
Unironically, the best Korean translate that ever went on in our game is the giant parking symbol above your horse, because it does not say that in Korean. But when it was translated, it was so good that they kept it.
Cows were milked, pigs could be butchered, and tomatoes were picked. We got to have a look at a freehold crafting.
Tomatoes weren't picked? What?
Could be butchered, and
He's hitting that shit with a scythe. He's cutting them.
Tomatoes were picked. We got...
Also, he ate Gabe, the pig.
To have a look at a freehold crafting station, which is apparently the place where the highest level...
Bro, that crafting... That looks like it's seen better days, man. Like, the rest of this shit looks really clean, and then this just looks like it's like this broken down building. It's like all that's left.
Craftable equipment in the game can be made, and we also had a look inside this...
Interesting that you craft equipment in your freehold. That's interesting.
Small, cozy sized house that was filled with furniture. Another
this
thing
is
that
nice.
was...
Does it give you points?
Showcased here is the material inventory system that Intrepid are experimenting with. Basically, different materials have different inventory slot sizes rather than weight, which means you'll literally need to play inventory Tetris to manage.
That's exact. Inventory Tetris is a hell no, no shot, no way. I played Resident Evil 4, 5, 6, and whatever everything. I hated the inventory Tetris. No.
Your gathered mats. This isn't a thing for the game's normal inventory, and you'll be able to get different bag types with different layouts. It's an interesting idea that I'm not too sure if it'll just end up being annoying or actually add a sense of progression to material inventory.
No.
I guess we'll find out during...
I'm immediately purchasing all of the inventory off the Pearl shop.
Alpha 2 testing. Now, during this live stream there was a lot of information. We had slides that explained the progression system for different freehold buildings, an updated explanation on the purpose of freeholds, how to get a freehold, and freehold.
Yeah, this looks really cool. Yeah, the housing in this game is a W. It's way better than BDO's. BDO's housing system is like mediocre at best compared. It's not even remotely close to this.
Availability. Something that certain MMO players might find controversial is that not everyone will be able to get a freehold.
What's going on here? What's happening here?
It's something that you'll need to work hard to obtain, and there'll be a certain level of prestige to having one, especially in a good location.
Okay, so this is like the rank 1 housing in BDO. Only a few people can have, that's how they've gotten around it. So yes, your freehold is in the middle of the world, but only the top 1% of players can actually have one. Okay, you've killed it.
This means if you're a one...
Alright, you've literally gated the best content in the game to only 1% of the community. Sweet.
Per week MMO Andy, then odds are you're not going to get one. And in my opinion...
Beard and bald. Yo, I didn't say I didn't like the photo. I just asked what it was doing in this medieval house.
This is fine. If everyone could have a freehold, the entire world would be littered with them and it'd look a mess.
It would.
If you've got 10,000 people per server, not everyone can have a 1.5 acre piece of land.
That is correct.
And freeholds will be cool precisely because not everyone can have one.
I think that's going to make it less fun. I think it's going to kind of suck that I get a freehold and Lane has to just stare at my freehold. I think it's going to make him upset.
For everyone to have access to freeholds, they'd need to be instanced, which would make them less immersive and less cool. Basically, WoW garrisons. So, yeah. But
you can instance the freehold. This you just said there is no instance in the freehold. You walk up on it and you're like, this is someone's house. Let's burn it down. I cast Fireball.
I like the current design direction.
Game's not out yet, and people are already homeless. That's because they're going to spend so much on the game.
For this, and the game does have other forms of more accessible housing like instanced apartments. Overall,
the game looks beautiful here. When you're not moving and there's no combat, this game looks really good. This is like comparably good with BDO in different ways. I actually like it more in some ways. I don't like it in other ways. But like the combat, the second he takes his weapon out,
Creation June live stream far surpassed my
so
expectations and
So
reminded
bad.
me of one of the main reasons that I'm excited about this game in the first place. As much as the
this
combat
does
stuff
excite
shown
me. The residences and then the passing seasons, the changing world, that's really cool. The combat is a yikers. Although Asmongold probably would really enjoy it.
previously looks okay. There's many MMOs
Endgame
with good
RPers?
combat
Oh, you shut your mouth, Kraloris. We're all RPers. You just don't want to admit it.
dungeons. There isn't, however, many MMOs where you can own real space land and truly live out the fantasy of having a second life inside of a game.
Why would you say that? So why'd you gotta call us all out like that? Because our lives are not good enough. We gotta have a second life in the game. He actually just attacked me. Like, in my soul.
Something else I wasn't expecting was the sheer amount of depth that the freehold system seems to have,
It does
with
have
the
look at
progression
this.
trees for each of the
I wonder if you can like place this stuff, or if it's just like all okay. Well, the barrel is always here. The back of the wall always looks like this, or are you building it and they all look different? Are all of the freeholds like, oh, I want that one, and there's only like 9 different ones to choose from? Or do you build it over time and they all look different based on the materials that you gather in the landscape that you're in? Because see, that would be big for me. If my house looked different because I used the maple timber that was sitting just outside than someone who, you know, maybe was down in the plains and used cottonwood for their timber, and theirs looks different. Again, I'm a biologist, so I know about all this shit. But that is what makes residences cool to me. The idea that you can build a house and it's custom.
buildings. So far, if you're
Different
someone
regions have different themes, but the freeholds, though, I am concerned that like you're gonna get one and then they're all gonna look the same. Like this is always gonna be the same. That's always gonna be the same. Everyone's freeholds in this particular region are gonna look the
loves
same.
the whole life skill
But like you could customize some stuff, like the gates and stuff. But like I'm concerned that of the level of
profession and
customization
economy
you can
game
have here.
path in your MMOs. Ashes of Creation's looking like it's going to offer an experience
Name some common ass trees, Mr. Biologist.
truly next level compared to other MMOs. July's Ashes of Creation live stream was initially meant to be a long-awaited node update, but this was unfortunately pushed back, so we instead got another showcase of the Alpha 2 Cleric. This time, however, we got a much more comprehensive look at the class with 18 different abilities.
Okay, so if we pause this, let's look at the graphics first. The graphics, again, look acceptably good. I actually think that the character models somehow look worse than BDO's. BDO's character models can look really bad sometimes, but these look worse. These, like, everything about them, it just looks kind of blocky and simple. Like, yeah, you could put on a better outfit, but it's not going to change the fact that it looks kind of like crap. The world as itself, I would say, is, I would put it on par, sure, with BDO's. BDO's probably looks a little better, to be honest. These stakes don't look very realistic and stuff. I would say, like, some parts of BDO are going to look worse, other parts are going to look better, but like you could roughly say that this looks...
These on display compared to the 4 or 5 shown back in November of 2022. This live stream took place in the Highwayman Hills.
Holy shit, that looks like crap. Wow, that looks really bad. Woo! Man, are my glasses on, or is it just...
Visually,
it's really blurry. The textures are not at all
location that would be the perfect spot to ambush a passing caravan.
The grass isn't grassing. I agree. There's no moss on the.
Typically, this area is
there
supposed
moss? Hold
to
on.
would be the perfect spot to ambush a passing caravan.
There's a little moss. The perfect spot to ambush a caravan.
Typically, this area is supposed to be inhabited with bandits. However, during the live stream, there's a story arc in progress where minotaurs have seized control.
Yeah, so like this would be super cool if some players were trying to defend the caravan and then other players could gank it at any point during the caravan's path. Something we've been asking for in BDO for forever is shit like that. They're like, you have the tax cart. It's like, no, we have great value faction system.
Of the area. The purpose of my Ashes coverage is to be as concise as possible, so I'll just show the abilities demonstrated along with the tooltips, and you can just pause and read them if you like. I'd imagine most of you...
the getting off was not... Did you guys see that?
With the tooltips,
it's little, but
and
like...
you can just pause and read them if you like. like. I'd imagine most of you just
Like, even my DK can get her fucking leg over the top of that horse.
want to see the visuals though, so enjoy.
Oh my god, they named him GM Bucky. Wow, stationary combat. I'm so sorry. I'm just not impressed by stationary combat where everything is on everything is on the same number pad. I like, again, yeah, 2001 game. Yeah, World of Warcraft is probably going to have better combat than this. They're like, oh my god, look, it can arc between multiple people. Well, fuck, WoW has that shit. BDO's got that shit too. Okay, he's got his hammer out. In fairness, he has a hammer. There's still no hammers in BDO other than Jay's hammer. Again, every time I see the combat, I'm like, God, dude, this is the worst part about the whole game, is that the combat just does not look very good. Now, I will say that looks cool. That's a cool skill. This is a cool, where it like blankets the ground and then it goes out like a wave. All right, look at that. Yeah, okay. That looks okay, but like Lost Ark has stuff like that. Tab targeting, welcome to 2009. Yeah, like I was expecting more. Like, this is the game that is hyped up to kill Black Desert, to kill other MMOs, and they delayed the release. Like, this was supposed to release 2 years ago, and they said it's not ready. So they've been developing it since then, but like, this is where we're at with the combat. This is not even close, dude. Like, the graphics aren't there either. Like, I expect better graphics. It's 2023. Honestly, the simplicity in the VFX is definitely more favored in large-scale combat. That is true, but that's what we have lowest optimal for. The test of a game is not the large-scale combat. You can always turn the graphics down and make it look like blocks. It's how good can it look at the highest possible 4090, good textures, everything. That's what we want to see. How good can it look? You know what I mean?
After the ability showcase, we got a look at the work in progress UI customization option.
Oh, wow. There's all 6 of the things that you can move around on your UI. That's crazy. It's going to be the Holy Trinity tab target game, which I agree that is underwhelming. It is underwhelming. I'm going to play the shit out of it, but it's going to be underwhelming.
It looks really clean. And after that, the team basically fought their way through.
Okay, so now you have the... Okay, here's the party. I don't know why the hell you would put your party people... Like, right, whatever.
Point of interest to show off the cleric's healing capabilities under stress.
Maybe it's because he needs to be able to pay attention.
Heals.
Okay, so...
Wreck that wolf.
This looks really primitive.
Doing next. I'm gonna get these.
The mobs in BDO are way better at like aggroing and combat, and look. Compare this to some. This is like Olin's. Compare this to Olin's, and tell me that you're not having a better time playing BDO than this.
I'll get aggro on these guys.
Focus fire.
Looks like a mobile game. Yeah, like no, BDO mobile looks way better than this.
AoE it all down. Big AoE. Gonna do a trip.
Okay, so yeah, you just group them up and then you just... Yeah, there's that big wizard skill as you saw before.
AoE power!
Blizzard time. How you doing the
Alright, the blizzard looks like relatively underwhelming, but like...
Yes.
That one's so good.
I do like the fact that they all have to work together. That's cool, but I can get that in WoW. It's just Turos. Yeah, like...
Heal.
Nice. I'm getting all the value out of it. Try to get out some
Judgment.
That wizard is RPing to the max, and I love it.
Okay.
Throwing a sleep out.
Honestly, you don't play the melee. Bucky's getting his ass beat. Like, the wizard sounds like he's having way more fun than everyone else.
Nice, we got it.
The cleric's having more fun too.
That was super easy.
Overall, another solid live stream, and seeing classes become more fleshed out with a full kit of
Aren't paladins supposed to be like it? My idea of a cleric is you're up with Bucky. You're in the middle of everyone, throwing heals, swinging your mace around, and just beating ass. You know what I mean?
Is making it seem
that was considered solid. Oh, dude, that's
like Alpha 2 isn't actually that far away now. I liked that some of the cleric's abilities have some interesting meta decisions to maximize efficiency, and visually, I thought the spell effects looked pretty good.
Pretty good is not the description that I want out of this like giga hyped game. Pretty good.
As a whole, though, in its current state, I think Ashes of
Have you seen Terra? Only bits and pieces.
Combat looks like a 6 or 7 out of 10 compared to the rest.
6 or 7 out of 10? You used to main BDO. Have you forgotten? He's on so much copium. Like, honestly, the copium per fluid ounce Lazy Peon is consuming is beyond what doctors actually recommend.
Rest of the MMO genre, which isn't too bad really, considering the game isn't finished yet and is likely to improve quite a lot.
This is a paid ad? No, he just follows Ashes all the time. I don't think that maybe it is paid. No, because it would say sponsored here. Remember, it was sponsored by another thing earlier, and he's not paid to do this.
September's Alpha 2 pack will be your final.
Never mind. The game's gonna be fucking garbage.
Chance to buy access for Alpha 2, as Intrepid have announced they already have more than enough.
That's my mistake. I don't even know what I expected.
Enough testers. So if you're desperate
There you go.
to play, then buy it.
It's just like I say one thing and then he immediately just fucking ramrods me. No wonder he's on such copium. Anyone that wasn't getting paid to do this is be like, this is it? This is all you have? Like, I don't know. I feel like it's that scene in Iron Man where like these developers are so pissed with the like they're like, Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave. She built this from scraps. I'm sorry, but I'm not Jay. You know what I mean? Like, that's every time. Like,
you still have a chance. If not, no worries. I'll be covering it extensively on the channel.
Looks better. Keck
That's pretty much it for my summary of the past 4 months of Ashes of Creation.
4 months. Jesus, this has been in production for like 5 years.
In the next
look at that. Look how basic these attacks are. Look how basic this is.
Few months, we should get a big updated. And
again, what excites me about this game, combat is a huge L. Massive L. The graphics, in my opinion, are also an L. But I actually like the resident housing and the season stuff looks really cool.
Live stream, which might even be worthy of me covering in a separate video rather than a quick overview, considering the node system is the most unique aspect of Ashes that sets it apart from every other MMO in the genre. Let me know what you think about the past few months of Ashes progress in the comments below. Which aspect of the game are you most excited about? And do you think we'll see Alpha 2 before the Milky Way galaxy is eventually consumed by the supermassive black hole at its center?
Well, actually, that's not factually correct. The black hole at our center is actually not consuming anything. We're just orbiting it. However, Andromeda will eventually slam into us, and that's going to be kind of a cataclysmic event. I'm an astronomy teacher. I don't know what to tell you.
If you want to support my Ashes coverage, then sign up with my referral code. Social media on screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in.
All right, here's the video again. Lazy Peon, one of our best content creators in the MMO genre for YouTube here. So go check him out.